Morning, everybody. It is my distinct honor to be able to introduce some of our presenters who are just amazing people that I get the honor to work with on a daily basis. So first up is Mike Johnson. He is the Assistant of Curriculum Instruction and Assessment at Southern Boone County. And his topic is We're New to Launch, Now What?
Thanks, Missy, and thanks for having me. Jana, nice to see you. Jana's been a big help, along with Missy and Savannah for us getting rolling. Just real quick, we're obviously brand new to launch. We started head first in the fall, just out of necessity, and we're approximately 2,000 kids, K-12. We're located in Central Missouri, right in the middle of Columbia and Jeff City. And, we're rural, but we're certainly growing considerably, and this is just another piece to this. So my big three, first was process. Process. Our assistant superintendent and I worked really hard last summer when we knew this was coming, down the pipe, that who is responsible for what and how do we keep everyone in the loop. I shared a couple documents with Savannah that if you're interested, she can share out. Basically making sure that we have all of our boxes checked, worked really hard to see, okay, if a parent inquires about virtual learning, what is the process? Where do they go? What do they fill out? Making sure that they have all the information, and then make sure that our buildings have the correct information. So we have 4 buildings. We have primary, elementary, middle school, and high school. 4 principals, 4 assistant principals, 2 counselors at each building. And of course, I'm in central office with our staff here. And so there's a lot of people that need to be involved to making sure that our students are taken care of, that we have all of our boxes checked, that we have done everything that we need to do on our end to provide that quality education to our students and families, and try and figure out their why are they looking at virtual, and see if that's the best fit for them, and then how can we do that successfully. Trains. Jana did a train in the fall. We didn't know what we didn't know, and so we didn't even really know what we were trying to look for because we had never gone through the process. I know I attended them, but in hindsight, my counselor should have attended, my principal should have attended it, and we would have really had those conversations early and asked more questions because, like I said, in hindsight, going back, they answered, you guys, Jana, your team, your trains answered the questions we needed. We just didn't know at the time. And so until we got into the muck. So making sure that really encouraging your staff, your building staff, anyone that might be included in the process, attend those trainings. There's great information that Launch provides. Really dig into that before you get into the muck, and that will save you a lot of time and headache with families and your staff. And I think that'll be really important. And then lastly, documentation is essential. 2 of the documents that I shared with Savannah, basically we have a parent request form that we share. If a parent calls, a family calls, inquires about virtual learning, the building, whether it's a counselor, assistant principal, whoever your district deems that be the best fit, talks them through this initial document, and it has them initial all of the requirements, all of the things they can and can't do if they're virtual students, making sure that you are basically covering your bases, whether they can attend athletic events or can they play on sports teams or activities, just to name a few. And then we have, once the parent fills out that, initials it, signs it, gives you a reason, you talk through that. And then we have an internal document, which really kept us all together. Then the internal document, the building team would discuss it if this was the best fit for the student, and then they would send it off to central office. So those were lifesavers for us and my staff. They were work in progress. We tweaked them as we went, but they were really, really important to our success. And then key takeaway, really just take the time to learn your student's situation story. It talks about having a process and sticking to that process. but it's also going to be really important to be very flexible. I worked a lot with our counselors to try and figure out so many situations, particularly families that are asking about virtual or requesting it, are different. And so you take each situation with your online students that they're requiring individually and treat that each case differently. Have a process, but again, you're going to have to talk with your teams, you're going to have to collaborate, you're going to have to really take each situation and deal with that individually. There's no blanket answer, which has been hard for my staff. We're educators, we're rule followers, tell me the rule and we'll stick to it. But particularly during a pandemic, but I think moving forward with virtual learning, I think being flexible, these are still our kids, and that was something we had to really stress. We're not shipping them off to launch or whoever. These are still our kids, so our counselors are going to treat them and we just have to treat each case as if they were walking into our counselor's office in a regular year and they're in seat, and we just try and take care of them as well as we can. So again, thank you for your time, and I appreciate the opportunity to share, and thanks to the launch team for being such a big help to us and our kiddos.
All right.
Mike, I just want to say real quick before Savannah, I love that you said they're still our kids, and thank you for that message. I think it's an important one. So I just wanted to publicly thank you for that comment.
Perfect. And then we had a couple questions pop up about Mike's documents. So the answer is yes, he's already shared them with me, and I'm going to send a big old follow-up this afternoon with this presentation recording, and I will include his documents in there. So if you have any more questions for Mike, feel free to send them in the chat, but now we'll let Missy go ahead and introduce our next speaker.